Improv Separately Together. I'm your host, Philip Whiting, and today we got someone from across the pond, as they would say. Meet from the UK, Leon! Woo! Yeah! Thank you for coming on the show today, Leon.
No problem, absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Before I have you talk to the audience, you are the last episode of 2020. And you're the furthest away. Things are going to be a little different next year, because I am going to bring the show back. We're not quitting it. We're just taking the rest of the year off. And then we're going to come back strong in January and do it a little different. More to come on that. So, back to you. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. So, I'm Leon Bukowski. I'm a stand-up comedian, improviser. I do quite a lot of stuff for international comedians. So I used to do improv in Malaysia. I've done it in all kinds of places. Done all this stuff on Zoom now that we're all in the middle of this crisis. Everything's on Zoom. I've been on and off Zoom in all kinds of different countries at all kinds of times of the night. I also do a little podcast, again, with international comedians called Big World Small Talk. So that's a lot of fun, meeting lots of people from all around the world with their different ways that stand-up works in their country. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing to keep myself busy since everything's been locked down and comedy's been cancelled.
Yes, every show is done. It's like November 20th now, and I think the last performance I did was March 11th. So it's been a while.
Yeah, I got one. We got one. I did one in August, was my last one. Yeah, socially distanced theatre. What was it supposed to hold? 500, had about 100 in it. Looked like it was sold out, but it looked like it was a disaster. It looked like nobody turned up, but it was full because you couldn't have any more. But it was a strange one. It was a very strange one.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh my gosh, we sold out. This feels like we're not anywhere near sold out.
Everyone's now about little pockets of laughter all over the place.
Wow, I haven't had to experience that. Like the theater for Alchemy Theater here in Greenville, South Carolina, it's just a narrow, like 70 seats. So they have a plan to do it, but it's going to look similar to that. Like it's going to look empty, even though we'll have like 20 something people, but it'll look empty because of the distance and all that stuff. So yeah. That'll be interesting when that first comes back and we have to do it that way.
Yeah, my friend had so we had here as well. They're doing it in the UK. So that was in Malaysia, but in the UK, she organised this night in between the lockdowns, and everybody had to wear a mask as well. And she went, oh, you couldn't really hear the laughter with the masks on, it was a bit muffled. And I said, you missed the trick. You should have just put a laughter track on, and nobody would have been able to tell if people were laughing or not, because all the masks are covered. You could have had them laughing at every single joke on a button. Everybody's killing it.
And every time they laughed exactly the same. All right, so with this show, I've just been reaching out to other improvisers, a few non-improvisers, to see how they've been doing during the whole pandemic. I've come up with 5 questions that I'm asking everybody because they all pertain to them. You ready to jump into this thing?
Let's do it.
All right, so with the whole coronavirus going around the world and everything being locked down, what changed in your day-to-day process?
Mostly the biggest thing is when I was I did a lot of stand-up writing, and lots of the stand-up writing, the process usually was you write the jokes, you sort of filter them down, you learn them, and then go on the stage, then you get the feedback, people laugh, it's a good joke, people don't laugh, not a good joke. But without that, I've just been writing lots, then going on to Zooms, but you can't get the proper feedback. There's a delay, and sometimes they don't have any audience on, so you're just telling jokes to silence. So basically I just gone a bit. They're good. There's good and bad. So the bad thing is you don't get feedback usually, or even if you do get feedback, it can be a bit delayed, or you've only got like 4 or 5 people on the Zoom call or whatever, so you can't really get any good feedback. But you can read your script off. So I've been going through just tons and tons of scripts, just plowing through stuff, but I don't really know how good it all is because the feedback is just not enough. Pick up little bits, but that's the big problem.
So it probably feels like you're telling jokes to a wall.
Yeah.
Because the wall's not giving you any feedback.
So some of it's just complete silence, which is actually like some of my gigs previously, but
but now they're all like that.
now they're all like that. I'm getting used to it. When I go back to real time, somebody actually laughs, it'll put me right off.
Wait, stop! I'm losing where I'm at in my setup.
Read this, haven't you?
All right, so we're all home a lot more than we used to be. What do you like about being home so much?
I do like not having to travel. That's one of the good things about the Zoom mics and stuff. You don't have to travel. So when you go out and you do on the road, you have to travel and you have to get there, and then you get ready, and then the show starts and all that, and then you've got to get back, and that can be a bit exhausting. With Zoom, you can sort of just sleep, do your little bit, and go off. So I've liked that bit. That's been quite cool. And being locked in is good in a way, but yeah, it's not. You feel more guilty that I always feel like I should be getting more done because I'm at home, but then I seem to get less done. It doesn't make sense and doesn't make sense.
Right. And on the other side of that, what do you dislike about being home so much?
I think you miss that interaction. I think you miss like out and about, and so a lot of things I think just aren't the same when you're at home. And then it's not as special when you come back at night because you're just in the same place. Your days sort of. I like that. This is work. This is home. This is this. This is this. And yeah, when you're in all the time, home just becomes like work, and you find it hard to. I find it harder to like lock off. So I did lots of things like lots of my work was online, so I could do it online. Mm-hmm. But then I was in the house and I was online, and work was at home, and home was work, and it just I didn't like that. I like a barrier. That's home. That's work.
Right.
Yeah, that disappeared.
Okay, so think about the thing you are missing the most right now.
I think, well, it'd have to be comedy, stand-up comedy, going out to gigs, real gigs. That's a big one. Yeah, the live essence of it is the big thing I think I miss.
Right. That's good. Okay, so, well, I guess I should ask you, is everything locked down again, or is there still things that are open with restrictions?
Most of it's locked down. So we're in England. There's different ones in England, Scotland, and Wales. But at the minute in England, it's all pretty much locked down. You can go to work, come back from work. Supermarkets are open, but everything else, comedy and everything, is shut back down again.
Okay, so now I have to ask you my original question, because I had switched it when things started opening up, but now I get to revert back for you because you're locked down again. Okay, what's the first thing you're going to go do when everything is back open and there's no restrictions?
And I'm going to go, I think I've forgotten how to do everything. Why do we do this? And the other thing is, I think, when you do it, everyone's got the same idea. So like I was thinking, I'll go to the pub or a bar, but then I thought, no, everyone will do that. Everyone will be there, and then it will be a nightmare. Or restaurants, it'll be a nightmare. I think, probably the first thing I'll do is a comedy club, because it might be good if everyone rushes back.
Right.
I'm sure they will. Yeah, that'd probably be the first thing. Otherwise, everything else just won't be. It'll just be too much. Everyone will be the same idea, flying back.
All right, that makes sense. So I hear you have a friend that came with you today that we're also going to talk to. Go ahead and get them, and I'll do this other introduction.
I'll go. They're over here.
All right, Leon went to go get his guest. I'm not sure who this person's going to be, but let's go ahead and meet them now. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Amazing, thank you very much.
Nice. My name's Philip.
Nice to meet you, Philip. We're from our brothers in America. Wonderful.
Nice, and you are?
So I'm Lord. Lord. You can just call me Sir if you like. or Lord, I don't really mind. Lord John Smith.
Lord John Smith? Like Lord Smith? How's Lord Smith?
Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's fine. I know you're not going to be so fey with all the royal etiquette, but Lord Smith is fine.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. Did Leon let you know what was happening?
He mentioned it. It's lovely because I live with him. I rent his spare room, so it's fantastic that he let me to come on today.
Oh, great.
Because I've got a very important message, of course.
Yes, I'm just going to ask you about 5 questions about how you've been doing during the pandemic, and that's basically all we got.
Okay, great.
All right, so I'll go ahead and jump right into it. With the whole coronavirus going on, what changed in your day-to-day process?
Well, the biggest thing for me is that I don't get to go and see the rest of the royal family. It's a very, very tight royal family, and now occasionally they sort of pretend I don't exist and pretend that I'm not royalty. But now I think they're not letting me come to visit because of the whole coronavirus. This is what it is now. Whereas before there was injunctions, etc. But now I really think they want me there. They haven't said it or expressed it in any kind of vocal way or in writing or in any other kind of form of communication. But I know in my mind that I am part of that family. Apart from the coronavirus, I've got to protect the rest of them.
As far as I know, you are a part of that family and belong to be with your family. Maybe you should reach out to them.
I've tried. I've stand outside Buckingham Palace. I've tried to climb over the fence. Some of them just haven't got a sense of humour about this sort of thing.
Huh.
I had to change my name legally to the Lord because they didn't give me the title with their official records. But I think I'm wearing them down. I think I'm wearing them down. They haven't had me arrested for a long time now,
right?
And none of them have publicly shamed me for ages. So I think I'm coming back into the fold, or getting into the fold, because I've never actually met any of them. But I've got a feeling, and I think they're getting that feeling too.
Well, I hope you get back in their graces soon.
Me too.
All right, so we're all home a lot more than we used to be. What do you like about that?
Well, I mean, what I love to do, of course, is run round all the palace, to play with the horses. Unfortunately, I don't have a palace, and I'm just living in the spare room with my friend. But I do like to imagine that when eventually I get into a palace, because of course I am royalty, and that's where I deserve to be. I think when I get there, I'll appreciate the fact that I've locked into a single bedroom or the bedsit far more emotionally.
Right. Okay, so on that same type of question, what do you dislike about being home so much?
I think it's I can't go and visit the palaces, and stand outside and communicate through shouting through the gates. I think I miss that.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now I want you to think what you're missing more than anything right now.
I think more than anything, I think it's the freedom to go out and about. It's the freedom, just to be near these relatives of mine, the royal family. And just to follow them around. Turn up when I can find out where they are. Try and sort of go around the palaces and see if there's any way to get in through a back door, which they might have left open for me, as a to help me get access to them.
Right.
So I miss that. I do miss, going through all sort of private messages and trying to figure out exactly where they're going to be on certain days. I think I miss that. It's not the same. Now they're all locked in the palaces. It's not as much fun. That's what I think.
Right. And the final question, once things are open back up, what's the first thing that you would like to go do?
Well, I think I've got to go and visit the rest of the royal family. I think that's the first thing. Like I say, they've never mentioned me coming over, but I think it's probably because of coronavirus. And once that's clear, they'll definitely, I think, contact me somehow and let me know. And I don't think they've got my number or anything, but I think there'll be a message, there'll be a sign that will be for me. Maybe something on a flagpole somewhere that will say, "Come along and come inside now. We want you to come and join us." I think that's the first thing I'll be looking for.
Right. Maybe they'll leave that back door cracked, saying, Here's an opening.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, when I take my metal bar to hope, just to help encourage it, because sometimes they might not have opened it fully. So the metal bar just encourages it to open a bit more. The ski mask, just so I can give them a surprise. That I think that's the first thing I'll try and do. I've tried it before, of course, but I'll maybe seriously this time.
Oh, that's good. As long as you're serious about it, and they'll see that you belong.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, that is all the actual questions I have. Is there anybody out there that you would like to say hello to before you leave?
Yeah, so just a message for anybody out there, that also is part of the royal family, but has not ever been acknowledged or allowed to enter any of the royal residences. Please contact me. I mean, we can start a little club, and then it will just help them to find us when eventually they admit that we exist and that are more receptive to our sort of approaches. So if anyone else is out there, please do contact, because I think it's time to acknowledge all of us out here, because I think there's more than just me.
Right. So if you're a lost royal, contact Leon, and you guys can get together, and he'll hook you up with the Lord. Because they're you say you're roommates, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're in England. Flatmates.
Flatmates. That's right. Flatmates. Yeah. I mean, it's a kind of a room that he's letting me have. Some people think it's more of a cupboard, but it's definitely something. It's definitely something. It's definitely a start for me.
Right. You gotta start somewhere.
It's only temporary.
Right.
Yeah, it's only temporary until I get back in the palace. When I get my own palace, of course, I'll have my own wing, etc.
Oh, perfect. All right, so that is all the questions I have for you. Go ahead and bring Leon back so we can finish up this interview.
I'll go get it.
Awesome. I think he might be royalty. Hey,
just passed my friend on the corridor there.
Welcome back. You have a interesting friend there.
He's wonderful. Yeah. I'm hoping for lots of connections in the future. Not at the moment, but in the future, I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I had a friend who was supposedly kin to, I don't know, royalty, I would be into that too.
Well, I mean, it's uncanny how he looks very much like the Queen. When he wears his dress on a Tuesday night, and he wears his dress. He does look exactly like her. It's spooky.
Awesome. So now's the portion in the show that I call the lightning round, and we're just going to ask you. I'm going to ask you 5 more questions, but they're all super fast. 1, 2, maybe 3-word answers.
Go for it. I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Ready? What's your favorite food?
Curry.
What's your favorite drink?
Beer. Yellow stout.
Favorite place to visit?
Middle East.
And favorite movie?
Leon.
And last but not least, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun is this interview?
10.5. Yes.
Oh, we went off the scale just a little this time. Great. So that is all I have for you. Would you like to give any shout outs to any of your friends? Right now would be the time to do it.
Oh yeah, just if you want to come and have a look at Big World Small Talk, it's a nice little podcast. Got lots of American comedians and all kinds of different comedians from around the world. It's a good little laugh to watch. So that's it, yeah. So otherwise, thank you very much for having me. It's been fantastic. Really good fun.
Awesome. Let me do this outro and I'll be right back with you.
Cool.
Hey, thanks for watching this week's episode. This is the last episode of 2020. We will be back in January. But remember, this is episode 60 because you have 60 other interviews that you could go out there and watch. So please do it. And remember, if you're out there in the grocery stores or anywhere that's been working the whole time, say thank you to those people because they worked hard to keep things on the shelf for you. Give a shout out to all the healthcare workers out there because they're fighting this thing head on. And remember to drop your hate, spread some love because we are one people. And hey, we'll see you in January. All right? Peace.